says here, a music store proprietor has stores in Newcastle and Wollongong. The number of CDs sold each day over 1 week is recorded below. And those are the recorded sales over each day. Which store do you think did better? Explain using mathematical reasoning, right? So do we do to find the mean? And there's a special symbol for mean. It's with the X, with it's X with a bar on top, right? So that would be your summation of X, or all the scores divided by N, or the number of scores that you added, right? So you'd need to add 45, 60, 50, 55, 48, 40, and 52. And I got 350. Let me know if you didn't get the same answer. 2, 4, 6, 7. And then you have to divide that by 7. And therefore your mean would be 50, right? For the first one, for Newcastle, and then the other one would be for Wollongong, you would have, again, the same formula. And you'd want to add all of them up. You get 20 plus 85 plus 50 plus 15 plus 30 plus 60 plus 90. And again, you get 350 over 7, and you get 50 as the mean, right? So if they've got the same mean, well, which one did better? Is there another way for us to do that? Maybe we can look for the median and decide. And we'll see if we're getting the median of the first one. We'll have to figure out what's the smallest, and the smallest would be 40, 45, 50, 52, 55, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the next one? Did we forget something? Yes, we forgot 48. So 45, 40, 45, 48, 50, 52, and 60, right? And therefore your middle score is 50, right? And it seems like it's the same as your mean for this one, right? What would be the median of the second one? Let's have a look. We have 20 as the smallest. No, not 20, but 15. And then followed by 20, followed by 30. And then again 50, and then 60, 85, and then 90. And it looks like that our median is also what? 50. So how can we judge this? How can we know which store actually did better? Do you have any ideas? One. So we're talking, the clue here is that we're talking about the measure of spread. How spread is your data, right? If you look at the highest score and the lowest score for each of them, in year 7 and 8, we learned about what we call the range, right? And what we said then was that the range would be the highest score minus the lowest score, right? So for the first one, your range would be 60 minus 45, which gives you 15, whilst the range of the second one would be 90 minus 15, which would be what? 90 minus 15 gives you 75. And what can you say about the two sets of data? Which one is better? Is the one with a smaller range better, or is the one with a higher range better? The second one would be more spread. Which one do you think would be better? Do you want something that's more predictable when you're selling stuff, right? Or the second one, which would be unpredictable, because sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you get unlucky, right? So with this one, you'd probably say, right, that the one that would be better is actually the scores that would be more consistent, right? And when we talk about the range or the measures of spread, the one that would be less spread, right? The one that would have more consistent results would be the one that would be better, yeah? Because then you would be able to predict how you would be putting some stuff on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, right? Rather than something that's erratic, right? So you would want the range to be smaller, and this one would probably be the score or the data that you prefer, rather than something that's more spread. Okay, now there's another measure of spread that we will be learning today, and what it's called is quartiles, all right, or interquartile range. Okay, so that was the first one you learned in year 7 and 8. This time what we're learning about would be what we call the interquartile range. Okay, for short, we've got IQR, right? How do we calculate the IQR? IQR is simply, it disregards your highest and the lowest, but it calculates your Q3 minus your Q1. What's Q3 and Q1? Your Q3 is what you call your upper quartile. And then your Q1 would be called your lower quartile. What's a quartile? Quartile, quarter, and therefore, remember with the median, you're dividing it into 2. Your quartiles would be dividing your data set into 4, into quarters, right? So you would want to look at the upper quartile or quartile 3, right, minus your lower quartile, which is your quartile 1, okay? So how do we do that? Let's have a look at our example here. We've got here these scores: 5, 6, 8, 4, 12, 5, 7, 8, 4, 10, 9, 6, and 5. Just like when we're looking for the median, the first thing we have to do would be to arrange our data set into ascending order. All right, so let's do that now. If there's 13 scores, your middle, what we learned last time is for us to get the median, we would want to get the n plus 1 over 2 score, right? So there's 13 scores, there's 13 plus 1 divided by 2, you get 7. So that's 14 divided by 2 is 7. So we're looking for the 7th score, right? So we've got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. This is our median. Our median is actually called your Q2, your quartile 2. Okay, now that you've divided your data into 2 sets of data, then you've got your lower half, which would be this one here, and this one would be your upper half. So lower half of the data, and then the upper half of the data. Now your Q1 is simply your median of your lower half. Okay, so now you've got this set of data here, yeah, and you want to figure out your middle, and that one there would just be the middle between 5 and 5 or itself. So then your Q1 is 5, and now you look at your upper half. Your middle there would be the number between 8 and 9, which is Q3, which is 8.5. Okay, so now you've got your Q3 and your Q1. Your IQR would simply be minusing them too. IQR equals Q3 minus Q1, which is 8.5 minus 5, which is 3.5. If there are only 12 scores. So let's get rid of the 12 and let's have a look at this set of data. 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, and 10. So we've gotten rid of the 12, and now we've got an even set of data. that means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is your Q2, which is simply 6, right? So now you want to look at your lower half, and this now your upper half. And with this one, it would be your Q1 here, which is still 5. And the middle between these two would be 8. Okay, and therefore your IQR for this one is 8 minus 5, which is 3. Okay, so that's just the difference between when you have an odd number set of data or even set of data. Okay,